Well, good evening, everyone. Michael, soothing here. You know, I just can't figure out what topic to do tonight. I've got one of the most recent newspapers. This one. It's almost St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? By the time I post this, it will be. Let me find something green. Oh, here we go. You know where I got that from? Let me show you. I got that from this giant bowl of various kinds of balls. Let me do this by the microphone and see if this is a relaxing sound to you. I think it would be a relaxing sound, not the ones that bang. Maybe I should take the plastic wiffle balls out. I got all of these at a thrift store for like $2, something like that. And I was amazed. They were in a great big plastic Ziploc bag. So what I did was, I said to myself, I could do future ASMR projects with these. For example, I could turn this baseball into the moon for future astronomical videos. You know, my last video was on the flat earth, folks. Whether the earth is a globe. Let me show you something. That is a semi-precious stone that looks a bit like Jupiter, doesn't it? I had some of the flat earth folks tell me that Jupiter doesn't exist. It's just one of those little twinkling lights that's in the glass snow globe, and there's no evidence that it exists at all. Of course, Jupiter flyby missions don't count because that's all faked, right? But the millions of us who've looked at Jupiter and its moons going around it, little moons going around Jupiter, there are several visible even with a small telescope. And they go really fast, too. Those of us who've seen Jupiter and its moons, I guess we're all part of the massive conspiracy, because the solar system doesn't exist. Neither does space. Neither does gravity. And the sun is only 30 miles wide. It's about this big, I guess, and it's only 3,000 miles away. Now see how much you learn from flat earthers when you talk to them. I had lots of good comments on that video, including flat earther comments, except the thing about them is I've never met one that had an original thought. They have like 10 lines that they parrot, and their brains are encased in solid lead. No original thought can come out, and no evidence or proof or logic or reason can penetrate in the iron dome that's around their head. So they just say things like, you know, planes can't fly around a globe because they'd always have to be dropping to account for the curve, or they'd fly off the edge of the earth into space if the earth was a globe, or the horizon always comes up to eye level. Like that's supposed to mean something, right? It's not true, but they say it like it's very profound. Or gravity doesn't exist. Of course, they have no alternate explanation of why they're not floating off the earth, right? But things like that. Some of the stuff they say is quite humorous. but a little sad. Like, I saw one guy on a video, he had a globe like this, and he's going, "Look at this thing. They say it's spinning thousands of miles an hour." Here, where's my little man? Here's my little alien man. I wonder how many of them believe in aliens. They can't, because they think we're all inside a snow globe, right? Anyway, this guy's spinning a globe like this in one of the flat earth videos, right? People would just fly right off. People and objects. If the earth was spinning like this, like they tell us, everything would just fly off the center, right? Because they say it's going 1,000 miles an hour. Okay, well, if the earth was spinning like this, that would create some serious, and I mean serious, problems. But see, when we say the earth is rotating and that at the equator that rotation is 1,000 miles an hour, let's put it in perspective. Assume for a moment that this globe has a motor inside it. Some of them do. And that it's going to rotate once every 24 hours, okay? Now you're looking at it as it rotates at that speed. Do you know what you're going to see? You're going to see this. No movement discernible at all. No, you're not going to see this. You're going to see that if the globe's going around once every 24 hours. So flat earthers are just too lame to understand this, of course. I don't want to be too hard on them, though. You know, in the old days, when people called you a flat earther, there weren't very many, and so people used the term derisively and applied it to anybody they thought was really stupid, right? They'd call them a flat earther even if that person had no belief in flat earth whatsoever. But nowadays there's lots of people, and it's a growing movement, of course, cult. And so instead of thinking of flat earthers as the stupidest people on the planet, I think we should think of them more like by far the stupidest people on the planet, okay? On the globe, I should say. Okay, so because when I dialogue with them, they all just parrot the same nonsensical arguments and lines that they saw on a YouTube video. Not a single one of them has the slightest clue about anything in science or math or anything like that. I have them tell me things like, show me an experiment where you have a pressurized container and you have a vacuum right outside it, and it isn't going to whoosh into the vacuum. Because that's what you're saying the Earth's atmosphere does, right? It's not whooshing into the vacuum the way it should, okay? This is one of the stupidest arguments I've ever heard, but they all parrot that argument as if it's so profound, okay? Show me an okay, first of all, we don't have a metal container that's 30,000 miles wide to do this experiment and put the Earth in. But secondly, Earth's pressurized atmosphere is not next to the vacuum of space because it's held onto Earth by gravity. As we said before, wherever you are on the globe, gravity is pulling in the center of mass. So the atmosphere is being pulled to the Earth, right? Not towards the vacuum of space. But secondly, the high-pressure atmosphere is therefore down at the surface of the globe. As you get higher and higher in altitude, the pressure, the gravity the air, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And when you get next to the vacuum of space, there's virtually no atmosphere or pressure at all at that point. So you don't have high pressure sitting next to a vacuum. But this is common to all the ridiculous arguments that the flat earthers try to throw at you, but it's really quite amusing. I'm going to take this bucket of balls and I'm going to make planets. That one looks a little like Jupiter too. Or I'm going to try really hard to avoid jokes about that other gas giant that looks like kind of like Neptune. But you know the one I'm talking about. All of you, right? Maybe we can paint this little guy here blue and then put a couple streaks on it. I don't know. Look, here's one that's got two colors. Maybe this could be the green cheese side of the moon and the other side. The other thing flat earthers tell me all the time, which is really hilarious, is that there is no proof for the solar system or the globe or the curvature of the earth. Of course, there are millions of types of proof, and they're all irrefutable. I put the links in my last video to a few of them. But as a teaser, I'm going to tell you there is a way that you can prove to yourself that you live on this globe, not this one in my hand, of course, but on a globe that is going around the sun once every approximately 365 days. And you can prove to yourself that it's got an axial tilt of approximately 23.5 degrees. I'm going to show you absolute proof that on a flat Earth, there is a day coming up, the spring equinox, March 20th, where you can prove quite easily to yourself, with irrefutable proof, that you live on a globe like this, tilted on its axis, and that our model of the solar system is the only workable model, and that this could never be possible. Doing the simple experiment we're going to describe that can be done on March 20th. Stay tuned for that one, because I'll let you in on that one later next week or something. Meanwhile, I didn't start this video to be yet another flat earth video for the trolls to come tell us their silly lines about photographs and NASA and how we're all fooled and all of that kind of thing. So instead, see, I can't let this go, and so I have to raise my blood sugar just a little bit with a bite of this vegan oatmeal cookie that Joanne made. She and Maria went vegan again, but I refuse to join, although I'll eat more healthy with them. You know what this needs? Chocolate chips, cashews, and raisins, okay? There, I said it. Anyway, what I was really coming here to talk to you about was the latest issue of Popular Mechanics, because I just subscribed to it recently. I enjoy magazines like this. Somebody told me I should point the camera down at my written subject matter like I used to, And I agree with that. And I promise to do it in a future video. But for this one, we'll just look at this quickly because I don't have all day. Was I gonna do the paper? Yeah, I was gonna talk about it. U.S. grounds Boeing planes. I guess there was a crash in Ethiopia. And now there's a controversy about the Boeing 737 MAX. Not the 737 Min, the 737 MAX. And so they're grounding them worldwide. So I hope if you have a flight coming up, you don't get delayed. Because that would be a drag, wouldn't it? What else is going on in this paper? Oh, no longer just dollars for donuts. See this article here? Dollars for donuts. Let's see what this is about. Iconic Voodoo donut shop is finally accepting credit cards. They only accepted cash in the past. We have a Voodoo donut shop in Portland and in Eugene, Oregon. I don't know if there are any other ones. And it's sort of a counterculture place to go. You'll hear heavy metal music playing in the background, see weird posters, and buy donuts that are shaped like, say, certain anatomical features on people that I can't go into detail about on YouTube. But, anyway, no, I can't go into detail, but they have donuts that are shaped like various things. And because of the atmosphere of heavy metal music and the donut shape, you get to pay $3 or $4 for a donut that would cost you 50 cents at Safeway, all right? But see, that's what you pay for it. Anyway, in the past they refused to take checks, but it says here, at long last, you don't need to cash shop at Voodoo Donut, the iconic donut maker known for innovative varieties that come in pink boxes, which look kind of like this shirt, now accepts credit and debit cards. See how slow a news day we have in Eugene, Oregon? After years of being a cash-only operation, the shop's 7 locations. Oh, I didn't know they had 7 outlets. Now they accept credit cards. Where are they besides Portland and Eugene? Maybe they're in Seattle. Places in Washington, I don't know. What else we got here? I got a scholarship. I got a dollarship. Here's the political cartoon de jour. It turns out that rich people were getting their kids into top Ivy League universities by paying money and other nefarious things, phoning up their SAT scores and all kinds of stuff. I am shocked, I tell you, that those rich people were managing to do these nefarious deeds. I thought it was all fair. Okay, so anyway, lots of Hollywood celebrities now suddenly taking down their Instagram accounts and Facebook pages because they're so embarrassed to have been caught with their hand in the college cookie jaw. Letters to the editor. I think I'll pass on that because I don't want to talk politics. Airline pilots need complete transparency. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I want my airline, when I'm taking a flight, I want my pilot to be fully visible. I don't want him transparent at all. So I don't know if I agree with that or not. But anyway, if you'd like to fly from Portland or Seattle in one of the hottest new jetliners, a 787 Dreamliner, you must be asking what happened to brand new Ethiopian 737 MAX that issued a distress call and then crashed. It has to do with instructions and things on that airliner that weren't clear. Anyway, that's kind of a drag. We'll skip that. UK lawmakers vote down a no-deal Brexit. Do you think the Brexit will ever happen? I don't know. Ex-students attack Brazil school. Two masked men armed with guns, knives, axes, and crossbows descended on a school in southern Brazil. They went on a rampage. So listen, teachers, be careful what grade you give to your students, right? You never know if they're going to come back with a crossbow or not. Okay. The newspaper is so depressing, and I want to enjoy our time together. Let's see what else is going on. Crime test gains are lauded. Oregon's elimination of a rape kit backlog. Yeah, that's not interesting. That's depressing. Federal prosecutors are conducting an investigation into data deals that Facebook struck with technology companies. I stopped using Facebook because I don't trust them very much, okay? They're always selling your data and doing other nefarious things. Hearings for Cougar Dam fish passage. I don't know this lake. Soon it's time to go fishing, folks. It's almost spring. I'm getting antsy to get out on a lake or a river. House bill updates LGBTQ language. I guess the Oregon state legislature also doesn't have too much to do. The Oregon House of Representatives moved on Wednesday to scrub language offensive to LGBTQ residents in a bill that specifies sexual orientation is not a physical or mental impairment. The bill passed the House 58-2 and now goes to the Senate. All right. I'm not sure why people want to define themselves by what they do with their private parts, because it seems like we as human beings might want to have a little bit more depth than just that. But everybody wants to identify now in tribes, tribalism. I'm this, I'm that, instead of I'm just a person trying to relate to other persons. But anyway, let's avoid political chat here. Ooh. 2 men drown in a pond after a dog falls through the ice. I'll bet you the dog survived. Let's find out. Bellingham, Washington. 2 men drowned after one tried to rescue a dog that fell through a frozen pond, and a neighbor tried to rescue the first man. Hey, it's one of those chains of events, that are unfortunate. Como TV reports a 73-year-old man was walking his dogs near Bellingham when the dogs ran onto a frozen pond and fell through the ice. If a dog fell through the ice, wouldn't that be a bit of a clue to you that the ice isn't going to hold you up, because the dog is not nearly as heavy as their owner, even if it's a big dog? The dog owner then fell through the ice trying to rescue. A 49-year-old neighbor saw the man in trouble and attempted to rescue him. The sheriff's office says the dog survived. What'd I tell you? Okay. Didn't I tell you that was going to be the case? It's the people that aren't too smart. The dogs are pretty smart here and there. U.S. conducts criminal inquiry into Facebook's data sharing. We said that already. What else is going on? Company plans bowling arcade at Valley River. Do people still go bowling? I used to love going when I was young. I wasn't that good at it. I never bowled a perfect game. I think 280 something was the best. This is kind of like the bowling ball I had was sort of a yellow urethane, and it looked a bit like this, but without it had a little bit of stripiness. All right. Ducks smother cougars. No, folks, that's not an unusual happening amongst the animals in nature. I think usually cougars would win out with ducks, but this had to be happens to be college basketball, right? Oregon sports page. Everybody's into the Ducks here, the Oregon Ducks. And everybody likes to have a big O on their car. Or maybe in their car, as the case may be. Alchemical perspective. That means alchemy. Bi-Mart. See? They're not gender specific there at that store. They don't give preferential. Do I need anything here? I need some moving tubs. I think they have some down there. Moving tubs. Denison's 15-ounce chili. No, I think not. We don't want to contribute anything to global warming. Do you think flat earthers believe in global warming? Or would they believe in a version called flatal warming? Flatulence warming? Something like that. Flattest warming. I don't mean to do jokes at their expense because, they're human beings like the rest of us. Almost. All right. But anyway, I don't think that most of those who lead the Flat Earth movement, like Mark Sargent, for example, believe any of the things they put into their videos. I think they've built up a large subscriber base, and they're making good money and getting a following and some that kind of thing, accolades from the dumbest and most gullible people in society. And so now they can't back away from what they began, and they're going to keep it up. as long as they can get away with it. The scam. I don't think they really believe any of that nonsense. So, reorienting, look here, reorienting to a global viewpoint. Maybe we could get a few flat earthers to do that. I shouldn't insult them because that's going to just push them deeper into their rabbit hole. But when you talk to them, it's impossible to have a dialogue because they're like those old chatty Cathy dolls where you pull the chain on the back and it pops out a phrase, right? And they just have these canned phrases that someone taught them on a YouTube video, and that's all they can say. They can't put any cogent argument together or dialogue with you on anything. When you show them absolute proof that their worldview about a pretend fantasy snow globe has to be false based on a mountain of millions of pieces of evidence, experiments, proofs, and so forth, they just go on to the next parroted line, the chatty Cathy line that you pull the chain and then they'll spout the next line, you know. All the NASA photos are faked. There's no photo of Earth from space. Yeah, it's just they just have the little list there, you know. You global earthers are just brainwashed, and you have no proof. You know, they just always revert back. It would be amusing, except that it's sad. Can something be both sad and amusing at the same time? I think maybe it can. Oh, look at this. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day with musical offerings. Irish musical act is coming to where? Comes to Florence, one of our coastal towns, and Irish fiddle legend Kevin Burke plays at the Shed Institute. Do they show them here somewhere? I don't see them. Swan Day readings? I don't know. Are there any funny comments at all? The answer is no. So, don't they have a Dear Abby column or something? They used to. I feel cheated. Oh, here it is. The Dear Abby column. I shouldn't feel cheated because I got this paper for free at the casino where I play the poker tournaments. And I can tell you, without reservation, that I had one of the worst poker tournaments of my life tonight, because I started with an ace-king, which is one of the top 3 hands in poker that you can get in no-limit hold'em. There was a bet and a big raise in front of me. Very first hand of the tournament. I shoved my whole stack in, right? Somebody with an ace-6 called me, and to make a long story short, an ace came on the flop, and he still won. He got running cards that made him a flush, okay? So, now, that was on the heels of the last tournament, where it's a good thing these are small buy-in tournaments. It was like $30 one night and $35 the other night. Because last time, you're going to think I'm making this up, but I'm not. I started with pocket aces and got beat on the first hand. I hadn't seen pocket aces for forever. So there were 2 buy-ins down the drain. I licked my wounds by going to play blackjack. And I actually made some money there, about $140, so and it made up for the 2 buy-ins. But anyway, Britney Spears musical stage comedy to premiere this fall. You think I'm making that up too, but I'm not. There it is. If you don't think of Britney Spears as a comedian, you're in good company, because I can't imagine that either. Hey, what good is a crossword puzzle when they give you all the answers, right? Oh wait, that was yesterday's. Okay. Sudoku. I never did like Sudoku, so I'll skip it. What's this Britney Spears thing? Let's see. You know, some of you keep requesting that I do chewing gum video and so forth. And I like to do that because I don't have to drink so much water when I do chewing gum. And I get the requests from multiple people, but the problem is that others can't stand it if I do chewing gum. So, you know what they say. You can't please all the people all the time. So, since a minority want chewing gum and a majority do not, I'll make one in the future, and I'll just give an explicit warning about it in the title. That way, if you hate chewing gum, you can skip it. And I promise not to be offended in any way. All right. Dear Abby, I don't think we're ever going to get to this magazine, which looks like it's trying to copy the style of a superhero comic book or something. So I thought it might be interesting. We'll do it in a future video. Instead, we'll read Dear Abby today. I told you I didn't know what I wanted to do. I want to make this into Saturn. I'm going to make a whole constellation. Let's see which of these balls are the ones that I like the best. Doesn't this look something like a Death Star, right? Speaking of wacky, oh, this one has stuff inside. See? I like that. I could amuse myself for hours with this. What else is in here? There are small ones like that, you know, in case you need a pair of, little balls for something. And there's just all kinds of different ones. These will be real easy to paint. So I'll make the 9 major planets. Sorry, Pluto, you don't get to be a major planet anymore. But of course, none of the planets exist anyway, because flat earthers tell me they're all just made up, even though I look at them through my telescope. Anyway, back to Dear Abby. Let's do ear to ear. A little bit of paper here. Moving around over to here. Okay. Crime shows influence parents' real-world fears. Dear Abby, I dwell in a small, southern, and I thought safe hometown. I'm currently unemployed and therefore unable to afford a place of my own. I live with my parents. Yes, you and 60 million other adult children, okay? I live with my parents. I have job searched for months now for something within walking distance. Most good jobs probably aren't within walking distance, but that's just one guy's opinion. I pay for food with food stamps. No, you don't pay for food with food stamps. The taxpayers buy your food, and it's with a debit card, okay? But I can't yet pay for transportation, insurance, and necessities. My problem is I love to walk 4 to 6 times a week for 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, me too. Where is this going? It shouldn't be a problem, right? Well, I've been warned several times that I could get hit by a vehicle, kidnapped, or even murdered if I continue to do it. Where does this person live? Downtown Eugene, Oregon? Abby, I have spoken with the police in my area. They assure me it is safe to be out for a walk. Yet if I am gone more than 15 or 20 minutes, I receive incessant, ominous, foreboding warning calls on my cell phone. What can I do about their overactive spookiness? I can't afford a treadmill. Stepping out in Arkansas. Or is it Arkansas? Stepping out in Arkansas. Okay? I don't quite understand how we got from I'm graduated and I pay for food stamps to I get calls when I walk. The whole thing seems a little flaky to me. It seems like an irrational chain of thought, almost as if it came from the mind of a flat earther. But I don't want to insult this person from Arkansas, so I won't call them that. Dear Stepping, when you leave for your walk, tell your parents. This person didn't say where the calls were coming from. Tell your parents approximately what time they can expect you back, leaving yourself a few minutes leeway. In other words, lie to them and say you're going to get it back at 9, even if you're really going to get back at 8:45, okay? Then silence your cell phone and enjoy your walk. Oh, that was going to be my advice. Turn the dang thing off, okay? Don't be a zombie walker, because instead of being kidnapped, you're going to walk in front of a car or slam yourself into a telephone pole. Dear Abby, and that last one was pretty lame. Dear Abby, is it wrong to question some belief or fact that someone else has brought up? No, it's not wrong. And if they're talking about a flat earth, not only should you question them, but you should recommend they check themselves into the nearest psychiatric facility immediately. Right. I'm not in the habit of picking fights or bringing up controversial topics in social situations, but if someone else brings it up first or makes a verifiable claim, or in the case of flat earthers, a ridiculously non-verifiable claim, do you think I'm stuck on flat earth thought today? Perhaps my brain became like the flat earth brain I showed you. It no longer is looking like this. I'm stuck on that one, the flat earth brain, which looks like this when you look at it from a side view. Anyway, see, that's overused because I did it twice in the last video, so you can penalize me for doing a third use if you like. Anyway, I know I will get some thumbs down already from my flat earth pals, so don't worry. Picking fights. Okay, I think I'm within my rights to ask for a source or to argue the point if I disagree. I am being told that doing this is rude. No, it's not rude. If someone says to you that there are, 78 little gremlins dancing on the surface of this ball, you're allowed to question. Of course, that's more logical than a flat earth belief would be, but you're still allowed to question it, okay? And say, show me. All right, anyway, I am being told that is rude. I always thought if someone makes a claim or statement, then it's acceptable for the people you're talking with to ask where the information comes from or even to disagree. And if someone doesn't want to risk their opinion being challenged or isn't absolutely sure the claim can withstand scrutiny, are there any claims that can't withstand scrutiny? Let's see now. How about magic little suns and moons flying in a circle above us over the flat earth? Does that one withstand scrutiny? I'm sure it does. Anyway, I'm sure it's very logical. If someone doesn't want, they should keep their mouth shut. They should keep their mouth shut. Is it rude to ask, oh, what's your source for that? Friendly discussion is how they signed their name. Dear Friendly, I think it depends on the subject being discussed and the tone in which the question is asked. Well, she really committed on that one, didn't she? It all depends, is her answer. All right. It all depends. I'm not saying her answer's wrong. I'm just saying she picked the wrong question to respond to. If you want to know what sound you're hearing, I'm down by the microphone drumming on this giant semi-precious stone. Okay. Jupiter ball is my nickname for it. I'll just nickname that one Jupiter. There's one more and then we'll wrap it up. Dear Abby, at the checkout counter, I noticed the clerk had a tattoo in the cleavage of her breasts. I could see it because of her low-cut blouse. Yeah, that's because she wanted you to see it, okay? All right. What's the correct protocol? The correct protocol. Wait, I'll reserve judgment. Let's see what is said here. What exactly am I to do while she's ringing up my purchase? Baffled in the Midwest. All right, baffled. Before I read Abby's answer, I'll explain the protocol. She's showing you the tattoo and the cleavage on purpose. She wants you to stare at it, obviously, so that she can then get angry at you for staring at it, even though she wanted you to stare at it. All right? That's the answer. Now, what does Abby say? Dear Baffled, I am so glad you asked. What you should do is keep your eyes focused on the computer monitor. To be sure the checker is ringing up your purchase correctly. Well, that's not terrible advice. So, because it could be a diversionary tactic, right? To accidentally, on purpose, ring up some extra items on your thing there, which could then be deducted from the till, depending on how automated the system is. All right. I wasn't really planning to read the paper, but that's what we ended up doing. So we've been at this almost an hour, shockingly. So next time we'll do this. And I will take the advice, I think, of the person or persons who tell me, put that thing down on the table and pan the camera down at it so we can see what you're talking about as you speak. The other advantage of that is you don't have to look at me through the whole video. But that's an advantage for me too, because I can look down at the magazine. But anyway, yeah, a report from California. No, I don't want to get started. Why does this remind me of a tribble, since we're talking about space? Do you know that Scientologists, speaking of people that are almost as crazy as flat earthers, but not quite. Look, I got two of them to stick together like a suction cup. Do you know that Scientologists, I hope that's not too loud, Scientologists believe that Star Trek episodes are actual, real history because they come from repressed memories instead of from the mind of Gene Roddenberry. And that's real history, not fictionalized space drama. Okay? Look, I got 3 of them to stick together. There must be something clever we can do with these little suction cup planetoids. All right, everybody. I see you through here. That's about it for now. We'll play with these in some future episode. I'll do a painting project of some of these, and we can make that an ASMR video, because I get very relaxed when I do projects like that, and we can just do it together. But meanwhile, until next time, enjoy yourself. Do not ASMR and drive, and it's not rude to question someone when they say to you, there are 3 aliens and a ghost hiding behind a boulder behind my house, and they come out at night and they cook brownies in my oven when I'm not looking. Okay, it's all right to say to them, okay, that's way more rational than most of what I hear from flat earthers, but I'm still going to question you about it. All right, take care, everyone. All right, bye-bye.